Good morning, America. How are you today? This is Mike Cook coming to you live from Central Missouri, trying to adjust his camera at the same time. It's a little bit cockeyed. There we go. I'm coming to you live. It is Friday. How awesome is that? It is 12/11/2020 at approximately 8:48 a.m. Coming to you a little later. Man, this stuff's getting harder and harder to get concise and to the point with. I got to get all this stuff loaded up, and it's hard to do by myself. This is the year the conspiracy theory became reality. I do appreciate everybody jumping on. Say hi to me. Where are you watching from? I'd like to hear from it. All over the world, people are watching. It blows me away that somebody in New Zealand or Australia or Norway or Scotland's cool. I'm just saying, that's a cool place. Canada, Japan would care to even bother to watch a guy like me. It just blows me absolutely away. And I do appreciate every one of you that get on there and comment and all the positivity. And even some of you knuckleheads that say I drink too much Kool-Aid. I don't drink Kool-Aid. I drink coffee. With that, have a cup on me. Enjoy yourself. By the way, how come the ones that drink the Kool-Aid are the ones that are quoting actual news stories, but the ones that don't drink the Kool-Aid are the ones that are ignoring all the evidence? I don't know. I don't know why that is. But today I want to talk about some stuff. I want to talk about all the Hunter Biden stuff. All of a sudden, out of the woodwork, we got all this Hunter Biden. Oh my goodness, we're all going to die. Hunter Biden. His laptop, he's got all these nefarious deals happening. If you scroll back on my Facebook page about 2 months ago, we were talking about this. But at that time, with the New York, I think it was the New York Post. Correct me if I'm wrong. It was the New York Post, I believe. One of the oldest newspapers in America, the fourth largest in circulation, was kicked off Twitter for breaking the story. But now everybody's got the story. All of a sudden, we're all interested in it. Why could that be? I don't know. Just hurts my head with all this stuff going on. So the story's breaking. This was the other day. It said that they're all talking about the investigation of tax fraud. But what this guy's saying is it's more than tax fraud. The Justice Department interest in Hunter Biden is covered more than taxes. Federal prosecutors also have an investigation of possible ties of money laundering. Money laundering for whom? What is money laundering? Have y'all watched the show Ozark? That's money laundering. Yeah. I could only get through the first couple episodes of that show. That show was disgusting. But the premise of that show is money laundering. And they're accusing him of money laundering. For who? Well, the Chinese, of course. The Ukrainians. Russians, and he had a very lucrative business as long as his dad was in power. So what's happening here? So this is CNN. So we know it's legit now because CNN's reporting it. Federal criminal investigation into Hunter Biden focuses on his business dealings in China, where he's been money laundering. Just, of course, CNN, we'll talk about it. The small print there says, some of the transactions involve people who the FBI believes sparked counterintelligence concerns, a common issue when dealing with Chinese businesses. Kind of like some senators we know that, had girlfriends that were Chinese spies. But, hey, what do I know about it? Isn't it funny now that all of a sudden we can make these connections after the election is supposedly over and finished? I ain't drank enough yet this morning. I ain't fired up. Leave me alone. So I just find that extremely interesting all of a sudden. So let's just, so somebody made this. This guy thought this was a pretty good little post. This guy right here. He says there's lies, damn lies, and Main Street media. Let's not forget, Twitter suspended a global news organization. I just talked about that. So what do we got here? We got before the election, Hunter Biden's story is Russia disinformation. Dozens of former intel officials say. Unnamed former intel officials, because unnamed sources, those are facts. signed and sworn affidavit in a court of law that says that voter fraud happened, and if I lied, I'm going to jail. That's not fact. But dozens of former Intel officials say that is fact. So you have to remember the distinction of what's fact and what's not. That was political then. This is Politico today. Justice Department interest in Hunter Biden covers more than taxes. And what's the small print say down there? Hunter Biden faced recent tax problems in July. That's before the election. Why didn't we talk about it then? The District of Columbia leveled a $453,000 lien against him for unpaid state taxes, which was quickly satisfied. Yeah. By whom? The Chinese? Satan? I'm just kidding. It came out. I'm sorry. But there may be more to question with this Hunter Biden stuff. There may be a little bit more to the puzzle with this Hunter Biden stuff. Where'd my page go? Oh no. There it is. Sorry guys, I'm just one guy. So there may be more to this. So what's okay. I want to show you some befores and some afters. Here's a clip, an audio clip of Jake Tapper before the election. Listen close.
He did not call the partial travel bans from China and Europe.
Politically correct. Soft Joe Biden would have shut down travel to China, especially now we know it's been very lucrative for Joe Biden and his family, China. This president has done everything every step of the way.
I don't know what that
I don't know what that means. I don't know what you mean. What do you mean lucrative in China? What do you mean business deal? I don't know what you're talking about. I refuse to listen to you because you're not speaking what I want you to hear. And then this was before. This was 2020, and we are 2020. And this was the president being interviewed. Here we go.
I wish you would interview Joe Biden like you interview me. It would be so good. You know what?
You like this, I thought. I thought you liked
I don't mind it. But when I watch him walk out of a store and he's walking with an ice cream, and the question the media asks him, what kind of ice cream? What flavor ice cream do you have? And he's in the midst of a scandal.
Oh, that's
He's
so funny.
not.
And he's taking,
He's
of course
not.
he is,
No,
Leslie.
come on.
Of course he is. It's the biggest, second biggest scandal.
So,
The biggest scandal was when they spied on my campaign.
Oh, no.
They spied on my
no,
campaign.
there's no
Leslie.
real
No
evidence of that.
Of course there is. It's
No.
all over the place.
None at all.
Leslie,
Sir,
they spied on my campaign and they got caught.
can I say something? You know, this is 60 Minutes, and we can't put on things we can't
Well, you won't
verify.
put it on because it's bad for Biden.
We can't
Look, let
put
me tell
on
you,
things we can't verify.
Leslie, they spied on my campaign.
Well, we can't
It's
verify
been totally
that.
verified.
No.
It's been, just go down and get the papers. They spied on my campaign. They got caught.
No.
And then they went much further than that and they got caught. And you will see that, Leslie. And you know that, but you just don't want to put it
No.
on the air.
As a matter
As a matter of fact, I don't know that. They spied on my campaign and they got caught. They went much further than that and they got caught. I wonder what he's talking about there. I wonder if very soon we'll find out what he was talking about there. Very interesting. Very interesting. So now here it is before the election. I just want to, this is a little bit longer, but you got to pay close attention before the election.
I just want to deal in fact, because there is so much speculation out there, and there is zero evidence that Hunter Biden or Joe Biden did anything wrong here.
We should note, again, and you and I have said this in the air many times, there is no evidence that Joe Biden was, involved in any wrongdoing.
Of course, want to note that there is no evidence that Joe Biden or Hunter Biden has done anything wrong.
I just want to reiterate.
And let's be clear for the viewers.
There is no evidence Biden did anything wrong.
I'll note again, because it's important.
There is no, I repeat, no.
There is no evidence that either Biden did anything illegal.
There's been no evidence. There was no evidence.
There's no evidence. There is no evidence. There is not an iota of evidence.
No evidence Biden did anything wrong.
There's really
No evidence that Joe Biden
Did anything wrong.
Nobody's ever accused that. There's no
Evidence whatsoever that Joe
Biden did
anything wrong.
Got that?
Joe Biden
Got that?
did nothing wrong.
Hunter
Nothing.
Biden did nothing wrong.
Nothing.
Biden's secret emails.
A really fishy story.
The Post claimed that the emails were found on a laptop computer that was brought to a repair shop in Delaware in the spring of 2019.
The FBI is now investigating whether those alleged Hunter Biden emails are actually connected to a larger foreign intelligence operation.
They may be related to a foreign intelligence operation.
Foreign intelligence operation.
Foreign intelligence.
Foreign intelligence.
Foreign intelligence operation.
For all we know, these emails are made up.
The information found on the laptop may be part of a Russian disinformation campaign.
Part of a Russian disinformation effort.
Described by many intelligence experts as having hallmarks.
All the hallmarks
of a Russian
disinformation.
Russian
disinformation campaign.
This is a classic example of the right-wing media machine.
Don't drag the intelligence community into this. Hunter Biden's laptop is not part of some Russian disinformation campaign. The intelligence community doesn't believe that because there's no intelligence that supports that.
That last one was John Ratcliffe, of the director of national intelligence. The one that's about to have a on the 18th is coming out with a big old deal. We talked about that the other day. Yeah, that guy. That was the last one. But there's no evidence at all. No evidence at all. So I have a question for you. This is a question that keeps popping up in my mind every time I see things like this. Barack Obama was on a phone call, early summer, late spring. It was a conference call. There was tens of thousands of friends of Barack Obama on that phone call. Do y'all remember that? They released the part where Barack Obama was bashing Donald Trump because it was so good they had to get it out there. It was a private conference call. How many of you have been on them conference calls? Like maybe you're in one of them direct selling companies and you get on a conference call, motivational call once a month, and there's tens of thousands of people across the country, and they put everybody on mute, and the speakers get on there and they motivate you and get you out there to get to selling. They're so exciting, those calls. That's the kind of conference call Barack Obama was on when he was bashing the president back in early summer, late spring. I want to know, who was on that call? What did you talk about on that call? Who else was on that call? Does the media get involved on these? I think Project Veritas has something about that. Maybe we ought to look into that or something. That'd be a neat thing to look up. Maybe you should duck go it, because Google ain't going to tell you. I don't know. Just throwing that out there. Just wanting to kind of mention that. So, back to Hunter Biden. There's no evidence, nothing. All of a sudden, we're all talking about it. So what's the big deal? What does it matter if Hunter Biden was leveraging his father to build his empire around the world and make billions and billions of dollars from the Red Chinese? What difference does that make? He's a private citizen. He could do whatever he wants. Maybe it's because, this story. It says that Kamala Harris and others are key contacts in a joint venture with a Chinese energy company. That's on the laptop that there's no evidence that it was the Chinese, the Russian laptop, that thing. That's why. Maybe we should look into that. So this is the wrong story. Let's see here. Yeah, here it is. It says a list of key domestic contacts for joint venture involving Jim and Hunter Biden. Jim is Joe Biden's brother, and I'm sure Joe Biden has nothing to do with. He keeps himself separated in the basement with his mask. He has nothing to do with this, I'm sure. Sure. Okay, Jim and Hunter Biden and the now bankrupt CEFC, China Energy Company, included former Vice President Joe Biden's current running mate, Senator Kamala Harris, among other prominent Democrats, Fox News has learned. An email exclusively obtained by Fox News with the subject line, Phase 1 Domestic Contact / Projects, and dated May 15, 2017. Biden's brother, Jim Biden, shared a list of key domestic contacts for Phase 1 target projects. What are we talking about here? I don't. The emails unrelated to the laptop or hard drive purported belonging to Hunter Biden. This is something else. This came from the Tony Bobulinski leak of this information. Oh, but we just discredited him and ignored him back in the day, didn't we? I wonder why that is. You know, because the truth is that Joe Biden has absolutely 100% for sure has nothing to do with any of the business dealings of Hunter Biden.
And I said, I'm not going to, or we're not going to give you the $1 billion. They said, you have no authority. You're not the president. The president said. I said, call him. I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting the $1 billion. I said, you're not getting the $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, what, 6 hours? I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a bitch. Got fired. And they put in place someone who was solid.
Someone who was solid. Someone who wouldn't investigate my son and his dealings with Burisma. Holy crap. There might be more to this story. Maybe we should look into all this. I don't know. Maybe we should have looked into it before the election. You know, there was a poll out recently that said nearly 10% of Democrats had known about Hunter Biden before the election. They might have voted differently. Or maybe it has something to do with this I found. The Swindell, however you say his name, from California, who was dilly-dallying around with a Chinese spy. It wasn't just that he was dating this woman. It's that she bundled political cash for him and other politicians. She was a bundler. Where'd she get that political cash from? China? She seated staff on the Capitol Hill. Seated staff. You mean like interns from China? Nancy Pelosi, when asked about this the other day, said, we don't have time to investigate every intern that comes on the Hill. I think maybe you should have time for that. And he served until yesterday on the Intel Committee. I wonder how much intel he got on the Intel Committee. I wonder how much intel the Chinese got on the Intel Committee. Oh, and Nancy Pelosi has known the whole damn time that all this was going on. What did Nancy Pelosi know about Hunter Biden? What does Nancy Pelosi know about China? What does Nancy Pelosi get from China? I'm just asking questions. I don't believe that it's just Democrats like Nancy Pelosi and Hunter Biden and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris that are tied up in this. I think there's some Republicans too, Mitt Romney, that may have to look into their investments and see where they're getting their cash from, how these guys are independently wealthy on a salary of a congressperson or a senator. Maybe we should ask some of these questions. Maybe we should ask some of these questions before elections. But why are we bringing them up now? Rush Limbaugh makes an excellent point. He says on the air, he says, Barack Obama is in charge of the Russia, the election, meaning Russia. Obama is in charge of the Democrat DNC policies. He's directing operations now on the Hunter Biden story. Biden is a placeholder. They're trying to switch him out as soon as possible. Rush Limbaugh was going on his show that he believes that they're bringing this stuff up now because they're going to X-nay on the Joe Biden. Goodbye. See you later. You're out of here. We're done with you. And they're going to put Kamala Harris or whatever in his place. The only disagreement I have with him on that is that I think they're going to wait 2 years and a day. Why, you ask? Because 2 years and a day from now, when Kamala Harris and Joe Biden has moved on to the nursing home, where the nurses will continue to call him Mr. President, Kamala Harris will step into that Oval Office as a good faith gesture. She'll give appointment to Dr. Biden, Joe Biden's wife, maybe head of the education department or something. I don't know. But she will have the ability to run for re-election 2 more times. That means 12 years of Kamala Harris. I'm just saying. And with the Dominion voting machines well in place at this point across this country, she's guaranteed to win. No doubt. 100%. Heck, it'll probably be 90% turnout for Kamala Harris because she'll be doing such a great job for us. It'll be awesome. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait for all the good things they're going to give us. They're going to give us health care. They're going to take our guns away because who will need them? Because we'll be living in peace and harmony. And everybody will have roses in their hands. Just can't wait. Oh, by the way, did you see Black Lives Matters is pissed off at the Biden administration? Yeah, they're pissed off because they didn't get a seat at the table. Huh. How about that? That's how the tyrants do it. They create a revolution and then they kill the revolutionaries so that they don't revolt against them. That's kind of how it works. So this is what Donald Trump says. I want to stop the world from killing itself. I want to stop the world from going down the drain. That's what this whole 4 years has been about. Now, what's going on with this Texas lawsuit? Well, this is interesting. This is an interesting take on this Texas lawsuit. So let me back up. I'm going to give you the redneck, hillbilly, dyslexic, son of a bus driver explanation. I am not an attorney. I say things wrong as far as my pronunciation, but let me make one thing I feel like I have the ability to do is make this as simple as possible. Okay, so here's the deal. We have a constitution. The Constitution reigns supreme no matter what, at least for now. Okay, that Constitution says that the legislature, which is a group of legislators, they inside joke. They have the authority in each individual state to create the election laws for picking the electors. It's at their discretion. The governor, the Secretary of State, the Supreme Court of the state, any court of the state, the Supreme Court of the United States has no authority whatsoever to pick the electors in that state. It is the legislature's discretion how that is done. Now, they have passed laws in each individual states over the years on how that is to be done. When a governor or a Secretary of State attempts to change that law in the middle of the process without going through the legislature, that is a violation of the Constitution. Not just in the state, but at the federal level. Okay, so the Texas lawsuit is claiming that because states like Pennsylvania were changing their laws willy-nilly because of the COVID-19, they were, in fact, violating the Constitution, which taints their electoral process. And the choice of their electors are now tainted, which disenfranchises the people in Texas who did it right. That's basically the argument they're making. It is a pure constitutional argument. They're not talking about fraud. They don't have to prove fraud. All they have to do is prove that the process in these 4 states was unconstitutional. So that's why this is huge. Pennsylvania House leaders file a brief in support of the Supreme Court, in support of Texas in the Supreme Court lawsuit against Pennsylvania. So let me pull that one up. It says here, House Speaker Majority Leader Thursday filed an amicus. Forgive me if I'm saying the word wrong. Just bear with me, okay? Amicus brief. This is like a friend of the court brief. This is our opinion. We want to interject it. Supreme Court against the state of Pennsylvania in favor of Texas lawsuit. So the the House Speaker and the Majority Leader, that's the House and the Senate in Pennsylvania, are joining with Texas against Pennsylvania. The House Speaker, Brian Coulter, and Majority Leader Kerry Benninghoff, I hope I say that right, both Republicans, request that the Supreme Court carefully consider the procedural issues. Mind you, this is procedural constitutional issues. It has nothing to do with whether or not there was fraud, whether no dominion, none of the Kraken stuff. This is about constitutional law, procedural law. Got to follow the rules, basically. And questions raised by the plaintiff concerning the administration of the 2020 general election in Pennsylvania. The unimpeachability of our election requires clear procedures of administration so that everyone gets a fair shake. Unfortunately, outside actors have so markedly twisted and gerrymandered the Commonwealth election code to the point that the amici brief, the amici, is that how you say that? I'm sorry, forgive me. I'm not a lawyer. Find it unrecognizable from the laws that they enacted. They wrote. So what they're saying is the Pennsylvania legislature, who wrote the rules, who have constitutional authority to decide how electors are appointed, they're saying, the ones in Pennsylvania are saying that their constitutional right to select electors has been violated by the governor, the senator, and the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania, and they're joining in a lawsuit with Texas. That is freaking huge. If you think about it, that Pennsylvania itself is joining in the lawsuit against Pennsylvania. Mind you, so has Georgia. Legislatures joined into that. Also, over 100 Republicans in the House and the Senate federally have joined in, along with the state of Arizona, which I didn't know why Arizona wasn't named in, but Arizona has joined in. And there's 18, 20 something other states that have joined in to this argument. 6 of the states have actually requested to be part of the lawsuit. They aren't just signing amicus briefs. And if I'm saying that wrong, forgive me. I'm a redneck. I'm uneducated. But the 6 states like Missouri have requested to be part of it. Not only that, but the President of the United States has requested to be part of this lawsuit. He wants to enjoin to the lawsuit. There's another word for that. Forgive me, but I'm putting it in my terms. There's another legal term for that. But he wants to become part of the lawsuit. Also, the President of the United States, the campaign, has filed lawsuit in Wisconsin against Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's campaign on the grounds of unconstitutional maneuvers done by their campaign. So that's the important part of all these other lawsuits, the Linwood lawsuits, the lawsuits in Arizona, the Sidney Powell lawsuits, the lawsuit in Pennsylvania brought by a couple of congressmen, the lawsuits in Michigan. All these other lawsuits are suing on the grounds that there was fraud. So they have to be able to prove the fraud. And that's a challenge. It's hard to prove. I mean, it just is. Even though we have it on camera, you got to be able to prove there's enough of it to change the election. And ain't no judge going to get out there and be the one. However, they are suing on a pure constitutional basis. They don't have to provide any evidence because the evidence has already been admitted to by Pennsylvania, even in their response that they gave, where they said that they had the clear authority to enact these laws because of the emergency situation they were in. That's their argument back. But that's not what the Constitution says. So we have to go by the Constitution. Now, if the Supreme Court takes up this case, and they have to, this is the only jurisdiction that can take this case, because of state against state, is the Supreme Court. And if they take this case and they rule in favor of Texas, My understanding is there's three possible outcomes of this whole thing. In favor of Texas, they can null and void the 4 states and send it back to the legislatures. And then those legislatures can choose or not to seat their electors. If they don't seat their electors, then neither party, whether it's Biden, Harris, or Trump, Pitts, get 270, it goes to the House. Okay? Or the other option that they could do is they can just null and void those 4 states and send it to the House. Just, you guys are done. We're done with you. We'll send it to the House. They could do that. Or they can choose in favor of the 4 states, thereby ruling that the Constitution is null and void. Because the Constitution clearly says how this is done. And if they rule in favor of the 4 states, they will now say that the states do not have to follow the Constitution. I really don't see the Supreme Court doing that. But that'll blow the whole country up if they did that. But this is an all or nothing game on both sides, and expect it to get pretty serious by the time it's said and done. And I know I've predicted it several times that the other side are going to send their minions into the street to rape, pillage, loot, and rob, and burn inner cities to the ground, and do all the things that they said we're going to do. You all saw the video of Cynthia Johnson from, I believe it was Michigan, saying, y'all know what to do. Make them pay. You've seen that video. I played that video. If you go to, I think it's protecttheresults.com, or I have to look it up again. I can't remember. Dyslexic mind kicking in. That's where they are. That's where you can sign up and create and follow where all the protests are going to be. They had them for the Wednesday after the election, but they put them off because of all this that's happening. Then they had them for the 3rd of December, but they put it off because of all this is happening. Now it's the 31st of December, or even into the new year. But at any point when the Supreme Court rules or whatever happens, they can pull the trigger on that. Trust me, these folks are not going to go down without a fight. They're not going to give up just because the Supreme Court rules. They're not going to give up just because Ratcliffe comes out on the 18th with all the fraud. They're not going to give up. It's not going to go over that lightly. So be prepared. Understand that this is a multiple front war we are in. It's an information war. Look, follow me on Rumble. Go to my page. I put the link on there. Follow me on Rumble. Follow me on MeWe. Follow me on Twitter. Oh, not Twitter. I'm not very active on there, but on Parler, which is like Twitter. Because dissenting voices, including the President of the United States, will be squashed in the next very near future. You saw what YouTube did. They changed their policy, and any conversation that has to do with the election and it being fraud, they are deleting. And the rest of them are going to do it too. So, batten down the hatches. It's going to get exciting. I'm fired up about it. How about you? Because I know the good guys win in the end, no matter what. Even if this fails utterly and Joe Biden becomes the next president, God will still prevail. He is still victorious. I will not bow to the God of government. I bow to the Lord God above. If they throw me into a lion's den or a fiery furnace or whatever the equivalent today is, I will not bow. I will stand firm. I will stand firm in my faith in God, my faith in my country, as far as what it used to be, my patriotism, and my family. I appreciate everybody jumping on. Please share this video with your friends if you like what it is. And understand, I am not a professional. I'm an amateur, just like you. And if I don't say my words right, and I don't get my sentences in the proper orders, hey, you know, there's other people out there that are much more smarter than me. So you guys have a great day. I will catch you. I had another video to play for you, but I kind of run out of time. So I'll talk to you later. We'll do that one tomorrow, the next day or something. Enjoy your weekend. Take a break. Drink an adult beverage. Have a sip of coffee. Put your feet up. Do some fishing. You're worth it. You guys have a great day.